What's going on, brothers? Brother Stevani is here, Command Centre Wargaming. Fantastic. So we've got a few updates for you today. We're going to be having a look at the new rules that have been leaked for Ragnar Blackmane from the new Prophecy of the Wolf box. And we also have some pricing as well for Prophecy of the Wolf, which is coming out very, very soon from Games Workshop. Now, before we start, I'll just show you my Legion glaive, which I've been putting together for my Loyalist Alpha Legion for 40k. There he is right there. I'm really happy with the way it's coming along so far. Basically, it's not even washed yet, but I feel as though I'm getting a lot of detail. I'm capturing some of that Alpha Legion Loyalist blue quite well. And it is metallic, I believe. Alpha Legion scheme should be metallic. But anyway, really excited about that one. Going to be playing Siege Wars at multiple events on, I believe it's the 29th. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be smashing some walls in. I don't know if my Alpha Legion's going to be Loyalist or Traitor yet, but I'll get back to you on that. I don't even think they know. But we'll see how we go. Anyway, on with the show, everybody. Fantastic. So, look, let's talk a little bit first just about some of the pricing. So, Prophecy of the Wolf. All right, we know now is going to be released at $170. That's 170 US dollars. Okay, so I believe reading, I think in pounds, I think I remember seeing something like 110 pounds or something like that, which isn't a direct conversion for the US dollar, but it kind of never is. You're always going to be paying sort of like that Games Workshop sort of price, like wherever the heck they want to put the price at. Being in Australia myself, I've sort of converted this over to be about $280 Australian dollars. But once again, it could be 260, it could be 300. Okay, you can't just do a straight conversion from the US dollar with Games Workshop because they always add their own or subtract their own stuff to it. Now, being in Australia, I'm not holding my breath that this is going to get any cheaper than $280. But I do think it will be under $300. The Blood of the Phoenix Eldar box, which I didn't pick up, was going for about $360 here, which was pretty crazy. I definitely didn't get that one. I've got other videos explaining that. But I'm kind of fence sitting on this one because I do like the box. I do like the characters. I know some of the subscribers on the channel have been talking about getting Ragnar's hand, cutting it off, putting a pistol on, which is really cool. But I don't know, because I'm playing a lot of 30k at the moment. There's a lot I can get for 280 Australian dollars. That I can actually play with in competitively. The Space Wolves, I've got a Space Wolf army, but one of my biggest concerns about this box is that the Primaris Marines in here, the Vanguard Marines, they're really cool, but you can get them in other box sets. The starter box set, they're in there. It's $160 Australian. So it's kind of like, well, I'm paying $280 for these two characters. Personally, I don't have a massive Orc army. I'm not really an Orc player. Okay, so you'd really be getting this for the Gazgul, maybe this new character here, or if you're a Space Wolf player, I guess you're getting it for Ragnar. All right, it's a fantastic model. His rules are looking really good too. The Gazgul rules have been leaked. I'll do that in another video. I'll leave that out of this one. The reason is because it's already been covered by other channels. So all good. My main gripe with this is that, once again, I just feel as though the box is a little bit lackluster for that price point. If it was 230 or 225 Australian dollars, then I'd be inclined to say, look, it's possible. I'll go for that because the Dark Imperium that's what that's sitting at, right now. And that's a pretty epic value box. You get a lot in there, including the main rules. You don't need, so the thing is, you get a little bit of a mini stat book with this, but the Psychic Awakening book is rumored to be about $80, for this, which you're going to need to get as well. So you're going to end up paying for it. The problem is that these models are probably going to come out a lot longer after the initial box set release. So if you really do want these models, you're probably going to have to grab this box. To my knowledge, the Orcs in here, aside from that little guy, these are all old models as well. So I'd figure, unless Orcs want more of these models, which could be the case because they are a bit of a horde army, they're not really going to care about this except for the Gazgul. He's pretty huge though, he's definitely something to care about. Space Wolves, I mean, yeah, look, you've got your Vanguard Marines here, but they don't have close combat weapons. You could get them in other boxes. We've already had another 100 boxes with these Marines in it. like, I'm not one to start bitching about Primaris. Believe me, I love Primaris, but I think we need to sort of get a little bit more fresh with this now. I can't help but feeling that this box, that the Primaris side of this box isn't just some kind of generic throw-in. Like, the thing is, like, even the lieutenant here, or the captain, or whatever it is, in Phobos armor, even he looks really generic, you know. Aside from the stickers, you know, you could paint them up as whatever you want. Okay, they'll fit into any army, but I really would have liked to have seen something better from the Space Wolves with a lot more flavor going on. You know, and yes, look, you can just change these into whatever Marines you want. That's a +2, but I don't know about you guys. I got heaps of these guys sitting here already. So look, see how it goes. I think 260, I'll definitely get it. 280, I don't know. Like, you know, I've got a fair bit to do painting wise anyway. Like, it'd be fun to paint Gazgul up, you know. Also, you know, add Ragnar Blackmane to the army, but I don't know. I've got other projects on right now, and I feel as though 30k at the moment, I'm having a lot more fun with it. 40k as a game, I think, has got some serious rules issues right now. I think they're churning and burning a little bit too much. You know, apropos the Iron Hands Brohammer list, which I know has been nerfed, but they're still strong, you know, and I just, yeah. So, but anyway, it'd be cool. You know, I might get this box, maybe chuck the Woolsack on the table. I have one of the flyers and stuff like that, the carryalls, so it'd be pretty awesome. But anyway, let's have a look at the Ragnar model data sheet, okay? So we have the Ragnar Blackmane model here, which is really cool, and let's go through some of the rules. So Ragnar Blackmane, he's got a movement of 6, which is pretty stock standard for infantry. Weapon skill 2, which he'd bloody well want to have that for a Space Wolf, right? Ballistic skill 2, which is really good for a Space Wolf as well, but he is sort of like a captain, what I'd call a lesser character, you know, so basically, you know, it's really good to have that ballistic skill there, even though, you know, he does come with a pistol, but it's just good to have it, okay? Strength 4, yeah, you know, stock standard, but we'll have a look at some of the rules later. This gets a bit of a buff. Toughness 4, standard Marine, Primaris, or standard Marine, really. Wounds 6, which is decent, very decent. Attack 7, now this is where it really comes into play. Attack 7 is pretty damn decent, especially when you look at his buffs, and especially when you look at his weapons. Leadership 9, okay, stock standard, lesser character. Space Marine, really good. You wouldn't expect anything less. Save 3 up. I would expect a little bit more there in terms of the save, but I guess with 7 attacks and the rest of these stats, I think to keep him into price perspective in terms of points, I think that you're going to have to give him some weakness. And I really do see Ragnar as being more of a destroyer unit, more of a kamikaze unit, kind of like a Blood Angel Smash captain in a way, rocking up with a team of Wolfen, or, you know, rocking up in his Impulsor. This is how I deliver him. I chuck him in an Impulsor with, you know, with a bit of a, like, because Space Wolves have really cool characters. Problem is, Impulsors have got to be Primaris, so maybe chuck a lieutenant or a captain in there with him as well. Get a bit of a sort of like a hero chariot going on, and then, you know, put that into the enemy lines. Buff the Impulsor up, or the Repulsor, you know, give it some buff there, maybe get him in that way. I mean, because from what I've been reading and what I've been thinking as well, one of the biggest issues with this character is, a lot of the times with a lot of the Primaris Marines, is delivery. But the Impulsor really helps us to mitigate that, so that's fine. Anyway, let's move on with it. Ragnar Blackmane is a single model equipped with a bolt pistol, Frostfang, which is his sword. It's his double-edged chainsword, which is really cool. Frag grenades, crack grenades. Only one of this model may be running your army, or good, stock standard. Bolt pistol, range 12, pistol 1, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1, stock standard there, just a pistol. Frostfang, the weapon, melee. Strength is now +2, so he'll be hitting as a strength 6. Then he's got an AP -4 on the Frostfang, which is epic, if you ask me. All right, now this guy is going to be elite killer. He's going to be a Terminator, or maybe not Terminators. I have a bit of an invol, but in terms of like aggressors, other Primaris, this guy's going to smack the crap out of them. Characters as well, he's going to do really good, because the 7 attacks is where it's at, right? Because even if you're re-rolling invols, you know, some of that stuff is going to get through. Now, and at 2 damage a pop, 7 attacks, that's already 14 wounds you can dish out in a best case scenario, but there's even more than that, and we'll get to that in a second. Frag grenades, crack grenades, the same kind of usual stuff. Won't read that, it's standard rules. Angels of Death. Now, he's got the Angels of Death rule. Now, I have been playing more 30k at the moment, but from memory, Angels of Death is basically the standard Space Marine stat, which gives everyone a +1 attack, right? So that means he would actually go up to 8 attacks, right? Bringing him up to, 16 damage, which is pretty crazy on an ideal day. Battle Lust. When a friendly Space Wolves unit within 6 of this model and not within 3 of an enemy unit consolidates, it can move up to 6 instead of 3, which is fantastic. So imagine this guy in there with some Terminators, in there with some Wolfen, okay, smashing through stuff, and then, consolidating 6, okay, instead of 3. Very powerful. Not a game breaker, in my opinion, but very powerful. Definitely a massive advantage. And that's what Space Wolves out about. When you get in a Space Wolf army, whatever you charge, you must destroy. It's like Ivan Drago from Rocky 4. Whatever he hits, he destroys. It's a bad Russian accent, but anyway, all good. So, yeah, because that's the way you want to play Space Wolves. You want to get him in there, melee the crap out of him, move on, push into something else. And this guy can definitely do that. And I think, look, I don't know how competitive this is going to be, but definitely going to be fun. All right. Then we got War Howl. You can re-roll charge rolls made for friendly Space Wolf units other than vehicle units if they are within 6 of this model when the roll is made. Now that's good that they covered that other than vehicle units. So obviously Dreadnoughts are vehicles. We can't re-roll charges with them. However, Wolfen and stuff like that, will be re-rolling charges. Terminators are infantry, so they'll be re-rolling charges. So it's actually very powerful, this one as well. And you can sort of see where this guy's heading. He's really a line charger. He's really designed to get in there and just charge the enemy and just wipe out whatever unit he takes. And I'll tell you now, you get this guy with some Wolfen up there, he's going to wreck, it might be hard to deliver him a little bit, but if you can get him up there, get him in there, you can definitely do some damage. So, Jarl of Fenris, reroll hit ones of 1 for attacks made by models in friendly Space Wolves units while their units are in 6 of this model. It's a standard Captain 1 reroll of a 1, which is actually really good. He's got it. And Berserker Rage, when this model is affected by the Shock Assault ability, add 3 to the attacks characteristics of the model instead of 1. So what that means is instead of doing 8 attacks, okay, with the Angels of Death buff, okay, when it's a Shock Assault, basically means that you basically going to be doing another 2 instead, because you've got to take the 1 away and then you add 3. So it still counts as 1. So it actually becomes 6, it was for 10 attacks, essentially, when Shock Assault is active, or when the unit's affected by Shock Assault. So it becomes 10 attacks, 2 damage, 20, it's 20 wounds. On average, you're going to get maybe 10 hits, 10, about 10 wounds will go through, because you get AP -4, and then you've got basically, so you've got a lot of hits going through there. That's some pretty epic stuff. It's 10 wounds. You could clean out characters on that. You could clean out a Calgar on that. Yes, he will get his invul, but some of that stuff is going to get through. Now, you get a Ruin Priestess, this guy, buff him up a bit. You get Apocryphy near him, heal him up, put him in that. Here's an idea. Get a Primaris Apocryphy, put him in the Pulsar with him and a Lieutenant. This guy is basically going to sit there, re-healing him with wounds. And even if it's not, it'll force it to target the Apocryphy anyway. So, you know what I mean? Because you've got to get rid of the Apocryphy for just some initial thoughts. No superior tactics there or anything, but just some stuff that's running through my mind as I'm reading through this data sheet. Now, this is a really important part. Belt of Rust is modest. This little wrestling belt there. Okay, this model has a 4+ invulnerable save. Super, super duper important, everybody. This makes him a hell lot tougher. Okay, he's going to be able to shrug a lot of stuff off. Okay, so it's really good. Overall, look, I think these rules are really solid. I would definitely love to get this guy into a game. He's also got the Imperium keywords, Adeptus Astartes keywords, Space Wolves keywords, Character, Infantry, Primaris, Wolflord, Ragnar Blackmane keywords. Okay, everything you'd expect. This looks pretty legit, everybody. Okay, I did get the image from Reddit. Okay, just using it, for research and educational purposes. also review and documentary. Yeah, I don't know who originally took it, so credit to them, you know, where it's due. Fantastic. And yeah, look, let me know in the comments down below, everybody. Let me know, do you think you're going to be getting this Space Wolf box? Now you know the $170 price point, or £110, or the roughly 260 to 280 Australian dollar price point. You know, do you think Ragnar Blackmane is going to be a viable character, you know, for competitive play as well as beer and pretzels play? Let me know in the comments down below, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next video.